All right, then, let's try this. Can't guarantee we're going to stay live, but welcome to another live video. How are you diddling? Excellent, me too. Thank you very much for asking. It's another episode of Dazed, Confused, and Generally Buggered, my daily live show, answering your social media and video questions as best as I possibly can do. Been a bit of an interesting start to the day. We've had nothing but issues with the internet, but hopefully we're a bit more stable now. I don't know for how long, but fingers crossed. We're currently live, if you didn't already know, on Twitch, Periscope, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and on Instagram as well on my phone right here, which you can see. So if you want to say hello, if you want to just join the broadcast, you're more than welcome. I'm trying to wave hello to everybody, but my thing's in the way. No, I can't do that one. But if you want to ask any question, whatever platform you're on this morning, feel free. Absolutely every platform is open for questions. All you got to do is just type it in and it'll pop either up on my screen or up on my phone, and we'll do our best to answer them this morning. If you don't know who I am, I'm Simon Scholes. I run this company right here, Perception Studios, and it is an award-winning visual marketing agency. We help brands and businesses create social content that really helps them stand out, whether they're an international conglomerate or a small local business who just wants to get their content out to a wider audience, something really creative. So we help them through the whole creative process, then we make it, and then we help them put it out as well, because that's how awesome we are. Also, a few years ago, it became quite obvious to me that not every business necessarily had the budget to do that. So what can I do to help them start creating content themselves? What can I do to help them build their brand on social media? Because social media is such a powerful tool and something that we should all be using correctly rather than just scattergunning our approach. So it became quite obvious that I needed to come up with a process that would help you create more content, but also because a lot of people were time strapped, didn't have the time to create the content or put it out, something that they could use as a process that would save them a bit of time as well, which is why I came up with the How to Manage Your Social Media process. And that's when I came up with the book idea. I wrote the book, it went to #1 on Amazon, and basically, that's what I talk about. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to do, is start creating content that won't cost you a penny to create. It's completely free, but it will take you some time. It will take you some knowledge. You may need to do a bit of learning. You may need to suss out how to do video editing or photo editing or so on and so forth. But whatever, it's just a process that will help you start creating content on a regular basis. So that's what I'm here to do, is to try and help you. And today, one of the things I'm going to talk about is part of that process, which is memes. A lot of people have probably heard the word bounded around, but they're not entirely sure what they are exactly. So I want to help you kind of understand a little bit better what a meme actually is, what they can do for you, and why you should start thinking about putting them into your content, and how easy they are to put into your content as well, because it's not difficult. Quickly, just quick look on who's online at the moment. We've got Jamie, Amy's online, Mary, JC's online as well. Who else is there? FTW Creative, I think that's Dave. Hello, Dave. And AE Kevin C7. So hello to you guys. Thank you very much for joining the live stream this morning. Okay, so memes. I am by no means any way, shape or form a graphic designer, and to get a perfect looking meme, absolutely go to a graphic designer. However, for what I want you to start thinking about is getting away from that level of perfection, which we always talk about, and actually just creating content, just putting content out there for people to consume, putting out organic content. When it comes to paid content, very different kettle of fish. What we're talking about today is organic content, building your brand, giving value, helping people consume the value that you've got to give so they know what you're capable of offering them as a business in your area of expertise. So memes are a really great way of doing this. So a meme, if you don't know what it is essentially a picture with words over the top of it. And it could be about anything. You may have seen quotes from Einstein, you may have seen quotes from Elon Musk, you may have seen just silly ones popping up, whatever. Memes are basically a picture with words over the top, and you just post them on Instagram or on Snapchat or on TikTok if you're turning it into a mini video, or you can put them onto Twitter or onto Facebook. They're all over the place. So you can create memes really, really easily. There's lots of different software there that are available to use. Me personally, on my computer, I use a piece of software called Pixelmator, and on my phone, I use a piece of software called Photoshop, which is completely free. You can get a paid-for version, but the one I use is completely free. There is also another one I use called Word Wrap. I had to remember the name of it at the top of my head there. But yeah, Word Wrap, and that will allow you to put words over the top of your pictures as well. Photoshop's really cool, and like I say, very free. And basically, what I'm suggesting you do is create memes, because we all know we work in a visual age. When people pick up their phone, the first thing they're likely to do is just keep scrolling if it's text. But if there's a video or a visual on there that captures their attention, they're scrolling by, then there's a really good chance that they might have seen, if anybody else has joined us. If there's a really good chance, they may well stop in their tracks and consume the content that you're putting out. And that's the same with Instagram. If the wording that you're putting out there is more catching than somebody's generalized photograph, then you've got a really good chance of actually getting somebody to stop in the tracks and go, oh, what is it they've got to say? And then maybe reading your description, going to your profile, and coming to consume more of your content. So we're going to talk about memes and what they can do for your business effectively. So how do you go about creating a meme easily? And a lot of people worry about this because they think they've got nothing to say. Because what I want you to do is create memes about your brand, about your business. You're not going to start posting other people's positive quotes. That's nice to do and all, and you know those kind of things perform well because they performed well for the person who posted it in the first place. But it's you want to become the next brand. It's your business that you want to explode, that you want people to recognize as being that voice of authority. So why would you use somebody else's quote? Because if you are the next great mindset coach, then why would you use Tony Robbins's quotes to get people to consume your content? If they want Tony Robbins's quotes, they'll go and consume Tony Robbins. They want to consume you. Therefore, you need to put your stuff out there. What have you got to say? So taking you back all the way down to the fact that you are going to be creating blogs in the first place, which is part of the How to 9 Times Your Social Media process. But then what do you have in a blog that you can turn into content on a meme? What great bullet points are in your blog? What great points of capture in your blog can you take out and turn into a meme so people can actually consume it? It's dead simple when you think of it that way. So all you've got to do is go back through either old blogs or new content that you're going to write and look at what you've written and start using some of those quotes. Now, they may well be incredibly wordy. So I'm going to give an example here. I'm just going to pop this up on the screen. It's not actually a comment that came through, but that's quite a long comment. Live viewer comments show up on StreamYard. This is an example. Click on a comment to show it on screen. So that's quite wordy. So what could you do to that sentence to make it work better for your audience to consume on a meme? Because you don't want to have so many words on there that it's difficult to read, because the fact of the matter is, on social media, it is difficult to read. Your phone is most likely no bigger than this hard drive right here. So you're trying to read all those words on a little screen that's going to have those words written. You might not even bother trying to read them. Whereas if it's maybe 4-5 words that really stand out, the really key points of that particular quote, then you've got a better chance of people stopping and going, what? So I've got a quote that I use on a regular basis. Social media is like a room full of people shouting, but how creatively are you shouting? But that's far too wordy. So you just use social media as a room full of people shouting. Even that's a little wordy, but you could use that. And then in your description, you've drawn them in with that particular caption. Then you draw them into the description of the content. And that's where you talk about what the hell it is that you're going on about. Don't try and fit everything onto the meme, because that's utterly pointless. They're not bothered about that. They don't want to consume everything. They just want to understand the basics and then come and consume the rest of the content if they're interested. And that way, you're not wasting your time trying to type everything out on a picture. And also, you're hopefully going to draw them in because you're not confusing the crap out of them by them just seeing loads of words on a screen and just going, whoa, I can't read any of that, and just scrolling on by. Memes are just simple ways and simple tools of drawing people into actually consuming more of your content, consuming more of your message. It might be more of the message that's actually on the meme itself, or it could be something else completely different, but you're just drawing them back into what it is that you do as a brand and as a business. But memes are a great way of doing this, and you can use them, like say, on Instagram. Absolutely fantastic place to use them. If you're struggling with images, then you could use royalty-free images and places like Deposit Bank, Stock Photo. Personally, if you can err away from that and actually get some photographs of yourself or the business taken, brilliant. If you are going to do any video content, why not just at the same time get some photos taken? You can take some great photos on phones these days. So maybe set your phone up, set the timer going, sit back and get some photos taken of yourself. But just, yeah, try and use photos that you own rather than somebody else. You can always tell a stock photo and they don't look amazing half the time, especially if it's somebody, if there's people in them, even worse, because they're like in these forced fixed states of hilarity or whatever, and it just doesn't look right. So yeah, try and get photos of yourself and do a mini photo shoot at home. Just set up your camera, take a bunch of photos, have some fun, and use those as photos for your brand and for your business, especially if you are your brand and your business, because then you're the face of it. You're the face of the content that's going out. People get to know you, and away you go. You're absolutely sorted. A quick question that's come in considering this. Chris Davis, who works for Rossbrook Accountants, has asked, would you recommend using humour, e.g. grumpy cat meme, or not appropriate for business? Humour has always got a place, even in business, even in accountancy, Chris. So absolutely depends on how you're going to use it, but there will be ways that you could bring humor into your content, whether it even be like the day after tax is meant to have been in. Obviously this year slightly different, but the year after everybody was meant to have their tax returns in, you could have a picture of your abacus on fire. And then you can just say, well, the abacus is in flames. We're not doing anybody else's returns now because the date's over. It's a bit funny. It's a little bit quirky, a little bit of a laugh. And people who work in your industry will get the joke. And people who haven't put their returns in will just go, oh, my God, I haven't done my returns. What am I doing? Oh, no, I've got a fine. What am I going to do? And then they'll hopefully get in touch and you can put them to rest assured and just explain to them, look, we can get it all sorted for you, don't worry, and that kind of thing. But just maybe use a bit of humor that way. Humor has a place everywhere. It just depends on how you're going to use it. And obviously the situation as well. Right now, a lot of people are in a situation where they're being furloughed. They're not sure if they're going to keep the jobs. Probably not the best time to be using humor. But there are other times when you could use humor. So don't err away from it. Just be cautious and have that mindset of, actually, is this appropriate? We had a very good saying back when I used to choose music for radio stations, and it was very much, if in doubt, leave it out. So if you've got any doubt whatsoever whether that comedy, that humor should be in that piece of content you're about to put out, don't put it in there whatsoever. But don't second guess yourself as well. But yeah, if you've got that true gut feeling, yeah, this doesn't feel right, then it probably shouldn't be there, and then just don't put it in. Good morning to Ed, who's just joined us. Thank you very much for joining us, Ed. As always, the comments are open on the live streams, wherever you are. If you've got any questions whatsoever about social media, video, or memes or at all, drop them into the comments right now. I'll do my best to answer them, whether you're watching on Twitch, Periscope, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you are. Just say hello, and we'll do our best to answer any questions as well if you've got any. Good morning to Facebook user. Unfortunately, you haven't let StreamYard know who you are, so it won't show me your name. But good morning to you as well, Facebook user. Thank you very much for tuning in. Anyway, right, shall we go to some of the questions that came in overnight? I'm just going to drag these over here so that the guys on Instagram don't lose my screen and can still see my beautiful face. Okay, quick question that came in on my How to 9 Times Your Social Media group yesterday. And for some reason, it didn't come into the feed, but we won't go into that. We'll just answer the question and we'll do our best to go through it. So are underwater cameras good for snorkeling? So it depends on your needs. But yes, is the answer, really. I used to have, what was the name of the camera? It was made by Cisco. A flip camera. I used to have a flip camera. and I used to have a little case for that. And when Susanna went on one of our first holidays overseas, I went snorkeling a lot in Egypt. And there was loads of fish, obviously. So I got my camera and went down with it and was snorkeling with that. And yes, they work absolutely brilliantly. The only downside being of using like a compact camera or any type of camera like that is that they will soak in the blue light. The light coming from above you, they will soak it in. So all your images, all your videos will look very, very blue. If you then upgrade yourself ever so slightly and maybe get a DSLR and then a waterproof case for your DSLR, then you have a better chance of the content looking nicer because you can set your settings, you can do your ISO, your exposure, you can set your speed of your lens and all that kind of stuff so that the image will look better than it would do on just a general camera that you take down underwater. GoPros have obviously improved massively over the years. I've not used one of the most recent GoPros diving or anything like that, but I would imagine they're loads better because they're color grading and everything else like that, and their color gradients and what they bring in and the light that they allow in is loads better. So yeah, the absolute underwater cameras absolutely fine. If you go for a GoPro, go for one of the new ones, see how they get on. But if you're looking for professional stuff, then yeah, you're going to have to kind of fork out for a DSLR and a proper waterproof case for your DSLR. It's not something that you would just chuck in a bag and hope that the bag stays water resistant, really. I wouldn't do that personally. In fact, I would be terrified even taking it in a waterproof case, let alone taking it in a waterproof bag. But yeah, they're good. They're great. And I've got a GoPro Hero 3 that I take on holidays with us that can get thrown around. It goes in its little case. It's waterproof. Like I say, a lot of the images are very blue, but it gives a gist and a memory of what it is that you've been up to. So yeah, they're cool. Okay, let's have a look, see more of this. Okay, how can we make companies see how valuable people with disabilities can be in the workforce? Okay, first things first, you can't make anybody do anything. However, you can try to educate them. Now, you can do that in a few different ways. You can do that by going in to see them, but that way you've got to get in to see them in the first place. You could sell courses online, but that way they still have to buy it. Or you could create content that you put out for free, showing the value of people with disabilities in the workplace, showing how much of a spend they have on the marketplace. The people with disabilities spend in the UK was in the I can't remember exactly how much, but it was in the billions last year. I have a friend and somebody I've hopefully going to do some work with Esty, and she works in this area, and which she did a talk, and some of the figures were just absolutely stratospheric, like huge amounts of money being spent by people with disabilities, but brands and businesses still don't treat them as if they could be potentially a customer. So basically just give them the value, give these brands, these businesses, give these companies the understanding of how much value these people can either bring to the business or they can bring as customers so that they actually understand it. I mean, you're talking about as in the workforce, they still can bring so much value. Why couldn't they bring any value? Of course they can. They can bring something completely new to the workforce, completely different way of thinking perhaps, or a different way, an outlook on life, or all sorts of different things. So give them that value, put it out for free, and then when you're putting it out, maybe tag in some of the businesses that you're really keen on talking to. So you could put out a piece of value and then, have you ever thought about this? X and Y. Have you ever thought about this? Y and Z. Have you ever thought about this? A and B. And they might get to see that content, and hopefully it just starts that level of engagement and that conversation going. But know who you want to talk to first in the first place, and then just start reaching out to them, giving that value on social media already, and just see what they say. Maybe try and start a conversation. Let's face it, the best things happen through the start of a conversation. You just never know. I would never have met Susanna if I hadn't started a conversation on Plenty of Fish. So there you have it. You just never know what's going to happen. So yeah, start doing some reaching out, start talking to some of these people, but creating content in the first place that shows that level of value that you're trying to get across in the first place, rather than just going headlong in, I've got to have a meeting with you because I need to explain to you why you should be employing these people. That's not going to work. Give them a reason. We'll go back to it again, cure that pain point, and then they'll really start to understand where's the pain point for them, fix it, and you'll be laughing. Hopefully that helps. Okay, I need a quick drink. 1 second. Don't forget the questions are still open. Whatever platform you're on, even if you haven't got your name up, you can still ask a question as well. Maya, who contacted me on DMs on Twitter. I am doing influencer collabs, lives, posting daily, commenting on posts by people in the same hashtag as me. The products I sell are called Bindi. Sending new followers a welcome DM for info. How do I get more exposure? My goal is to have products sold by major fashion retailers. Wow, okay, big goal. Let's narrow it back down a little bit first. Are you selling anything yourself? You're doing all these different things, but hopefully you're selling some stuff. Brilliant. Now, the influencers you're doing collabs with, how are you collaborating? Is it just pure affiliate marketing, or are you doing something completely different and paying them? They're weighing your products, and then that's selling more of the products for you. Maybe that could be the next level. So if you are only offering affiliate, start offering some money to people who are slightly bigger influencers. So affiliate marketing, you normally offer to smaller influencers who just want to get onto that influencer marketing stage of actually making some money from the content they're putting out. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to pay someone to do some influencer marketing for you. Offer them £100 to wear your t-shirt. Offer them £100 to wear your shorts or an outfit of yours, and you'll send them the outfit for free as well. If you've done all that kind of stuff and you're creating all this content, what about actually creating some nicer content? What about getting a creative agency involved? I'm not suggesting that you need to speak to us or anything like that. Go to someone who's near you, local perhaps, and start talking to them about creating some creative content. Especially right now, in this current situation, prices have gone down on Facebook and on Instagram ads. They've actually dropped. So you get a better CPM. So why would you not put some money behind that? But you need the content to draw people in the first place. People are not going to buy from a crappy photograph, but they will buy from a creative agency coming in and saying, right, we'll take some photos for you. We'll get our photographer in. We'll get some models in. We'll make some of the stuff look really cool. What's your budget? And then they'll work to your budget. So set a budget in mind, get a marketing budget in mind, and then just speak to some agencies, get 3 or 4 in, get them to pitch to you what their ideas could be. Some people may completely over-deliver for the budget that you've got in mind, which would be brilliant, because then you'll end up with loads of content that you can put out on your social media channels and get people buying, but also you can put money behind that content as advertising and get more people buying, because more eyes are going to see that piece of content because you put some money behind it. Let's face it, these platforms are businesses now. They're not just purely social media. Even TikTok, where the reach on organic growth is stratospheric at the moment, it's going to change the minute they start selling advertising space. So all these businesses are going to push you out further if you are buying advertising. That's why when you scroll through your feed now, a lot of the posts are either sponsored or adverts and so on and so forth. So make sure the content you're creating is going to stop somebody in their tracks, is going to make them go, hang on, what? Rather than just a piece of content that they'll just scroll by, just generally. That's why getting an agency involved is so important when you're putting money behind your content. If you have a marketing team, brilliant, work with them, get some content made. But if you don't, get an agency involved, float some ideas by them, see what they say, and start going from there. But yes, you're going to have to spend some money. You're going to have to spend more money on influencer collabs. You're going to have to spend some money on adverts, and try and get some nicer content created for the adverts. And that way it will draw people's attention. Also, just off the top of my head, Maya, I don't know whether it's a male or a female brand, but don't completely dismiss the use of Pinterest as well. Really great website. I've spoken about this in the past. I did some lives a little while ago. Go and check out the playlist on whatever channel you're watching on at the moment, apart from Twitch where there isn't a playlist. But you can go and watch the playlist on Pinterest, and it takes you through some of the ideas that you can do with Pinterest and actually draw people in as customers, because it's more of a search engine than it is a social media site. So go and take a look at that, and fingers crossed that will help you out. Right, just quickly check in to see if anybody else has joined us. Hello, Cameron. Thank you very much for popping in, and Emma as well on Instagram. I can see new people joining us on the live stream, but obviously I can't see who you are. So if you want to say hello in the comments, please feel free to do so. That would be really cool. Right, we're on to our last question, unless any more questions come in today. This one from Abhishek. Hopefully I've spelt your name right. How can I build a brand identity of a merchandise brand in quarantine, as there is no production of the product? Will people show interest without seeing the product? Why can't they see the product, Abhishek? Just because you don't necessarily have a finished product. So, okay, I'm selling a pen with this design on it. Okay, I can't show them the physical pen, but I can get a downloadable PNG and drop the logo that I've created on top of that and show them the pen. It just won't necessarily be the exact pen that they get because it's not a physical item. But you can still show people your design work. So get your designs out there and start showing people your designs. Why can they not see that? There's no reason. I'm confused by the question. The social media is there exactly for this. Put your content out. You've got your design work. Show people it. In fact, you might have some designs where you go, I've got 3 or 4 different versions of this. I'm not really sure which one I necessarily want to use. Get the people to decide. That way, you know, there's a really good chance that once they've decided on the specific design that they like, they might well be going to buy it because it's the one that they like the most in the first place. Yeah, Abhishek, just get your content out there. Start showing people. Be brave. Press post. Stick it out for people to consume. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest again, like I mentioned. Get it out there. Make sure it's got watermarks on it so that people can't just copy and paste and print it and like use it as their own. But yeah, put it out there for people to consume. Get people's opinions. See what they have to say. There's absolutely no harm in that. So yeah, you can build brand identity without having to have a physical product to sell. That's bollocks. You don't need the product. You just need to put your content out there. Start talking to people. Okay, blimey, okay. We've got more people joined us. Hello to Endra, who's joined us. CNC Reading as well, and Christine, the travel counsellor. Thank you very much for joining us on Instagram Live. So if you don't know, if you're brand new to this, basically every day I'm going live answering your social media and video questions. If you've got any questions at all, stick them in the comments on the stream that you're watching on, or you can stick them in an email to me. My email address right now is scrolling along the bottom of the screen if you're watching on video. However, if you're watching on, listening on the replay tonight on the podcast, obviously you don't have a screen to watch. So my email address is in the section below. Go and click on that. Drop me an email. We can have a chat on email or a Skype call, or we can do our best to answer your question tomorrow on the live video at 11:30ish. Normally is when I go live. So if you've got any questions whatsoever and you don't really want to stick your hand in the air and go, excuse me, can I ask this question? Drop me an email instead, and we can do our best to answer it that way as well. Also, for those of you who have just joined the stream, even though we're probably coming to a close now, unless any more questions come in, feel free to join my group, How to 9x Your Social Media. It's a group on Facebook. That's the name of it there, How to 9x Your Social Media. And what you do is you go and join the group. The first link in the group is my free book. It's a former #1 book on Amazon, How to 9x Your Social Media. It takes you through the whole process. I take my brands, my clients, my customers through, helping them understand what content they can create themselves for free. My favorite 4-letter word. Nobody starts off necessarily with the biggest budgets in the world. So if you don't have the biggest budget in the world, start creating some content for yourself, start building your brand yourself for free. And then maybe now and again, drop in and ask an agency like us or an agency like somebody close to you to help you maybe with the creative ideas or maybe a bit of editing or podcasting or what have you. But get some of that content rolling yourself. There's a lot you can do yourself. So go download my book out the group and get started, get making some stuff. Let's have a quick check, see if we've got any questions anywhere. No, not on Instagram right now. And we haven't got any questions on the live either. People are just sitting and watching, which is lovely. It is Sunday after all. It's a relaxing day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot off. I'm going to go and have some lunch. So I will say thank you very much for watching today. If you have enjoyed the broadcast and you're brand new, please hit subscribe. or follow or whatever on whatever channel it is that you're watching on, and I will see you tomorrow, like I say, about 11:30ish, and when we'll do another episode of Dazed, Confused and Generally Buggered, answering your questions about social media and video to try and help you get your brand out there further. Also, if you are watching on replay, please hit the share button and get more people watching this content. That would be really cool. Thanks a lot. Right, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye. Stay safe.